Welcome to Retired Pennies World, the channel where we bring simple coins back to life by uncovering the incredible history, surprising values, and hidden details that many collectors easily overlook. In today's video, we are diving deep into the 1998 United States quarter dollar with the D mint mark, a coin that might seem completely ordinary at first glance, but actually holds a very special place in American coinage history. This coin represents the final year of the classic eagle reverse design that had been used for decades, right before the United States Mint launched the extremely popular 50-state quarters program in 1999. Because of this timing, the 1998 D quarter is considered part of the last generation of traditional Washington quarters, making it a nostalgic piece that collectors appreciate today more than ever. The 1998 D quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, which is known for producing massive quantities of circulating coins every year. With over 880 million examples minted, this coin was created to keep up with nationwide demand in circulation, and because of that, most of the coins you find today have heavy wear. You will often see flat details on Washington's hair, fading on the eagle's feathers, scratches across the fields, and overall loss of the original mint luster. However, collectors understand that even a common coin can become valuable when it is preserved in outstanding condition, so high-grade 1998 D quarters are much more desirable. Many collectors are now searching for earlier pre-state quarters in beautiful condition because they are slowly becoming harder to find as time passes. When it comes to market value, condition makes all the difference. A normal circulated 1998 D quarter is usually worth its face value of 25 cents, but if the coin is only lightly circulated with sharp details and a cleaner surface, it can sell for around $1 to $3. Uncirculated examples, especially those with strong luster and minimal marks, can range from $5 to $15 depending on the exact grade. Meanwhile, coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC in MS67 and above can sometimes reach values between $50 and $100 or more. These high-end examples are extremely difficult to find because the Denver Mint coins from the 1990s often show small contact marks from high-speed production, so flawless coins are rare and highly collectible. Another major factor that can increase the value of a 1998 D quarter is the presence of mint errors, and this is where things get very interesting. Error collectors look for off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, die cracks that create raised lines across the coin, doubled dies that make the lettering appear doubled, and dramatic mistakes like clipped planchets or broad strikes. The more visible and dramatic the error, the higher the value can be. Some lightly circulated error examples sell for $20 to $50, while rarer or larger errors can reach hundreds of dollars. Many collectors specifically love error coins from the late 1990s because minting technology was advanced but not perfect, creating some unique and eye-catching mistakes. This coin also holds historical importance because it marks the end of a major design era. For decades, the Washington quarter featured the heraldic eagle on the reverse, but in 1999, everything changed with the start of the 50-state quarters program, one of the most successful and widely collected coin series in American history. Because the 1998 D quarter is the final of the traditional style, collectors see it as a bridge between old and new, and owning a high-quality example gives collectors a piece of that transition. Many people today are searching through old jars, drawers, and coin rolls, hoping to find a well-preserved version of this final year design. As we explore the 1998 D quarter even further, it becomes clear that its story is not just about value, but also about the transformation of American coin collecting culture. During the late 1990s, the hobby was beginning to attract a new generation of collectors, especially young people who would later become fascinated by the state quarters program. The coins from 1998, especially those minted in Denver, played a major part in everyday life because they were the last familiar design before the huge change. This makes the 1998 D quarter an important coin for collectors who appreciate transitional years in U.S. currency. Transitional year coins often grow in value over time because they mark the end of one era and the beginning of another. And as more collectors realize this, the demand for well-preserved 1998 D quarters continues to rise. Another interesting aspect of the 1998 D quarter is the metal composition. Like other quarters from 1965 onward, it is made of a copper-nickel-clad sandwich structure with a copper core. While this makes the coin durable for circulation, it also means the surface is prone to scratches and dulling over time. The Denver mint machines in 1998 were extremely fast and powerful, which caused many coins to receive tiny contact marks during minting. Because of this, finding a flawless or near-flawless example is difficult, which is why collectors value them so highly. Coins with full luster, clean fields, and sharp strike definition can stand out dramatically from ordinary circulated examples, and these are the ones that often fetch the highest prices at auctions or coin shows. Collectors also look closely at strike quality when examining a 1998 D quarter. Some coins were struck with older or worn dies, causing slight weakness in certain details, especially around Washington's hair and the eagle's wings. A strong strike with crisp details is always more desirable. There are also minor varieties, known as die states, where the dies begin to show wear or cracks as they age. Early die state coins usually show stronger detail, while late die state coins may show die fatigue or cracks. Although these small differences might seem unimportant, experienced collectors can spot them immediately, and these features can slightly influence the value of the coin depending on rarity and clarity. Roll searching is another exciting way people discover valuable 1998 D quarters today. Many collectors enjoy buying quarter rolls from banks to search for high-grade coins or errors. Because 1998 quarters are still common in circulation, they often appear in mixed date rolls. Every now and then, people find surprisingly sharp or even uncirculated examples that were somehow preserved inside rolls for years. Finding a beautiful 1998 D quarter in a roll can feel like a treasure hunt, and many collectors share their finds online, inspiring others to search through their own pocket change. This is one of the reasons the hobby remains fun and accessible, allowing anyone to discover a valuable coin without spending money on expensive coin shops or auctions. The coin's design itself carries strong symbolism. George Washington's portrait on the obverse represents strength, leadership, and the foundation of the United States, while the eagle on the reverse symbolizes protection, freedom, and national pride. Together, the designs make this coin feel authentically American. For decades, this eagle reversed was part of millions of citizens' daily lives, appearing in pocket change, vending machines, payphones, parking meters, and everyday transactions. The 1998 D quarter stands as the final version of that iconic design before America switched to state-themed artwork that dramatically changed the appearance of the nation's quarters forever. Over the years, coin collectors and historians have come to appreciate how 1990s coins, including the 1998 D quarter, document the economic and cultural atmosphere of that period. The late 1990s were a time of major technological change, economic growth, and the beginning of a digital era. Coins from this period reflect the everyday experiences of Americans before smartphones, tap-to-pay, and online banking. For many collectors, owning a 1998 D quarter is not just about holding a piece of metal, but about holding a memory, a reminder of how daily life once felt before modern currency became increasingly digital. As more time passes, the number of high-quality 1998 D quarters in circulation continues to shrink. Coins become worn, lost, or damaged, and fewer pristine examples remain available. This natural supply decline is one of the main reasons experts predict that mint-state examples of the 1998 D quarter will gradually rise in value in the future. Collectors who secure high-grade coins now, especially those graded MS66 or MS67, may see greater demand in the long term as fewer surviving pieces remain. This is one reason many seasoned collectors recommend searching through rolls, checking old savings jars, and examining pocket change regularly. Next up, we takes us back more than 70 years to examine the 1947 Washington quarter with no mint mark. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark during that era, making these coins easy to identify simply by the absence of a mint mark beneath the eagle on the reverse.
The 1947 quarter is a beautiful example of classic American coinage, minted in the post-World War II period when the United States economy was growing rapidly and silver coins were still circulating widely across the country. What makes the 1947 quarter especially appealing to collectors is the fact that it is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it real precious metal value regardless of its condition. Because these coins were made before the U.S. switched to copper-nickel-clad coinage in 1965, every 1947 quarter has a silver melt value that fluctuates with the market, usually ranging between $3 and $5 based on silver prices alone. This means that even a heavily worn, circulated coin is worth far more than face value, and for collectors or investors, this silver content adds long-term appeal. Many people still find these coins in old jars, family collections, and inherited coin boxes without knowing they are holding real silver. Like all older silver quarters, condition plays a massive role in determining the true market value of a 1947 no mint mark coin. A well-worn example tends to sell for around $5 to $8, but coins in fine or very fine condition can bring $10 to $15 depending on detail quality. Extra fine examples with sharp hairlines on Washington's portrait and strong feather definition on the eagle typically reach $15 to $30. When you move into the uncirculated mint state range, values climb even higher because these coins are now over 75 years old and truly hard to find in pristine condition. Mint state examples can sell for $40, $70, or even more depending on grade, while top-graded gems in MS66 or MS67 can reach several $100s at auctions where competition among collectors drives the prices upward. The 1947 quarter also has several minor varieties and minting characteristics that collectors love to examine. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint that year often show slightly softer strikes in certain areas because of the wear on the dies used at the time. This can make finding a sharply struck example more challenging, especially in higher grades. Collectors also check for die cracks, repolished dies, or subtle doubled features on the lettering, all of which can add small premiums to the value. Although no major popular double die variety is associated with this year, small variations do exist, and advanced collectors enjoy studying these differences under magnification to identify collectible features that might increase market demand. The historical background of the 1947 quarter adds another layer of interest. Minted just 2 years after the end of World War II, this coin circulated in a period when America was undergoing major social, economic, and technological change. Silver quarters of this era were used daily in shops, buses, payphones, and diners across the country, making them an active part of American life for decades. For collectors today, owning a 1947 quarter is not just about having a piece of silver. It is about holding a piece of history that millions of people once used during an important chapter of the nation's development. Many coins from this era were lost, melted for silver, or worn down through heavy use, which is why surviving high-grade examples carry such strong collector interest today. If you happen to find a 1947 quarter with no mint mark, take your time to examine it carefully. Look closely at Washington's hair, the cheek area, the eagle's wings, and the shield lines on the reverse. These areas help determine the grade and ultimately the value. A bright, lustrous coin with minimal marks could be a hidden treasure, while even a worn coin still carries valuable silver content. For many collectors and beginners alike, the 1947 no mint mark quarter is a fantastic coin to own because it combines beauty, history, silver value, and strong long-term demand. Thank you for watching Retired Pennies World, where every old coin tells a story, and every story reveals something new about the past and the surprising value of the coins we often take for granted.
Next up, we are taking a deep look at the 1982 Washington quarter with the P mint mark, a coin that many collectors underestimate, but one that actually carries some fascinating details, important historical context, and even a few valuable surprises. Minted in Philadelphia during a time of major economic challenges, the 1982 quarter represents a key moment in modern U.S. coinage. And understanding its story helps collectors appreciate why this seemingly ordinary coin deserves attention.
The year 1982 was unusual for the U.S. Mint because it was one of the years when no official mint sets were produced for the public. That means coins like the 1982 P quarter do not have the usual supply of perfectly preserved examples that collectors rely on for high-grade sets. As a result, most surviving 1982 quarters were struck for everyday circulation and show lots of wear from decades of use. This lack of mint sets is one of the main reasons why well-preserved and uncirculated 1982 P quarters have become surprisingly difficult to find today. Even a basic uncirculated example can sell for more than many collectors expect simply because the supply is far smaller than other modern dates. The 1982 P quarter is made of copper nickel clad, not silver, but condition still plays a huge role in value. A heavily circulated example is usually worth its face value of 25 cents, but lightly circulated examples with strong details can sell for $1 to $2. When you move into mint state grades, the value increases quickly. Sharp, clean coins in MS63 or MS64 can bring $4 to $10, while MS65 and MS66 examples often reach $20 to $50. The real premium appears in MS67 or above, where the best examples can reach well over $100 because so few were preserved in high quality due to the absence of mint sets that year. For collectors who specialize in modern quarters, the 1982 P is considered a key date for high-grade condition. Another interesting detail about the 1982 P quarter is the mint mark itself. The letter P for Philadelphia was introduced only 2 years earlier, in 1980, making this coin part of the early period of visible mint marks for that mint. Before 1980, Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark at all, so the 1982 P quarter reflects a relatively new chapter in the mint's design tradition, one that modern collectors appreciate because it helps identify and track mint origins more easily. Philadelphia struck hundreds of millions of these coins in 1982, but because so many were used heavily in circulation, the number of surviving high-grade examples is much lower than the original mintage suggests. Errors and varieties also make the 1982 P quarter exciting for collectors. Some coins show die cracks, which appear as raised lines across Washington's head or the reverse design. Others display off-center strikes, filled mint marks, or weak strikes caused by worn dies. There are also coins with misaligned dies or unusual rim thickness, and although no major fame-level double die has been confirmed for this year, many minor varieties exist and can bring a premium depending on visibility. Error collectors particularly enjoy late die state quarters from 1982 because the Philadelphia Mint's heavy production schedule that year caused some interesting die fatigue, leading to dramatic cracks and breaks that add character and value. The historical context behind the 1982 P quarter adds even more interest. The United States was undergoing high inflation, recession pressure, and rapid changes in coin demand. Millions of Americans relied heavily on coins for everyday transactions, and as the economy shifted, the mint increased production to keep circulation flowing smoothly. The absence of mint sets in 1982 was largely a budget decision, but it unintentionally created scarcity in the collector market decades later. Coins from this period have become reminders of how economic conditions can shape the future value of everyday currency in unexpected ways. Today, many collectors look for 1982 P quarters in pocket change, coin rolls from banks, and old household collections. Finding a clean, lustrous example is always a thrill because it feels like discovering a small treasure from a forgotten moment in time. Even if the coin is not silver, its collector value, historical importance, and scarcity in high grade make it a genuinely desirable piece for modern coin enthusiasts. For beginners, the 1982 P quarter is an excellent reminder that even common-looking coins can hide real value. And for experienced collectors, it represents one of the most important modern circulation strikes to include in a complete quarter collection. Next up, now we dive deep into one of the most talked about and most misunderstood modern coins, the 1965 Washington quarter, which often confuses new collectors because they expect to see a mint mark, but there is none. That is because in 1965, the United States Mint made a massive change that affected every quarter made that year. They removed all mint marks from coins as part of a major effort to stop people from hoarding silver coins during a period known as the coin shortage crisis. For this reason, every 1965 quarter you find with no mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, even though the letter P does not appear on the coin. The 1965 quarter is historically important because it was the first year the United States government completely removed silver from the quarter's composition. Before 1965, every quarter was made of 90% silver, but because the value of silver was rising and people were hoarding old coins, the mint decided to switch to a copper-nickel clad design. This means the 1965 quarter has a copper core with a nickel outer layer, giving it a very different sound, weight, and feel compared to older silver quarters. The change helped stabilize the economy at the time, but it also created a deep divide in coin collecting history between silver and clad coinage. This makes the 1965 quarter a pivotal coin that marks the beginning of America's modern coin era. Even though it is not silver, the 1965 quarter still attracts strong collector interest, especially in high grades. This is because the first year of a new composition always becomes important to historians and collectors. A typical circulated 1965 quarter still has a face value of 25 cents, but coins that show minimal wear, full details, and clean surfaces often sell for $1 to $3 depending on eye appeal. Uncirculated examples with bright luster can bring $5 to $15. Once you reach high mint state grades like MS65 or MS66, values jump to $20, $30, or even $50. The top-graded examples, especially those certified in MS67 or higher, can sell for hundreds because very few early clad quarters survived in flawless condition. What truly excites collectors about the 1965 quarter is the possibility of finding a rare transitional error. During the switch from silver to clad, a few leftover 1964 silver planchets accidentally went through the minting machines and were struck with 1965 quarter dies. These extremely rare 1965 struck on silver planchet errors are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition. The easiest way to check is to weigh your coin. A normal clad 1965 quarter weighs 5.67 grams, while a rare silver transitional error weighs around 6.25 grams. This simple weight difference is what has turned pocket change into treasure for several lucky collectors over the years. The 1965 quarter also has other collectible varieties that people love to search for. Some examples show strong die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies hit each other without a planchet in between, leaving faint outlines of the opposite design on the coin. Others show die cracks around Washington's head or across the eagle's wings, which collectors enjoy for their dramatic appearance. There are also off-center strikes, broad strikes, missing clad layer coins, and weak strike varieties caused by worn dies during heavy production. These errors can turn a simple 25-cent coin into one worth tens or even hundreds of dollars, depending on rarity and condition. To understand the popularity of the 1965 quarter, you must understand the historical atmosphere of that time. America was undergoing major economic changes, silver prices were soaring, and people were emptying banks and hoarding every silver coin they could find. Stores were running out of change, vending machines were failing, and Congress was under pressure to take action. The 1965 Coinage Act completely changed U.S. coins, and the first clad quarter became a symbol of that shift. Every time you hold a 1965 quarter, you hold a piece of history from a moment when the entire nation transitioned away from precious metal money and into the modern era of everyday circulation coinage. Because millions of 1965 quarters were produced, most people assume they have no value, but the truth is that high-grade examples and rare errors are becoming harder and harder to find. Many coins have been worn down through decades of circulation, tossed into machines, dropped on sidewalks, or stored in jars for years. This natural loss of quality only increases the desirability of the best surviving pieces, making the 1965 quarter one of the most important early clad coins to look out for in pocket change, bank rolls, and old family coin collections. As we close this detailed look at the 1965 quarter with the Philadelphia Mint mark, it becomes clear that this coin represents far more than a simple piece of pocket change, because it marks the exact moment when the United States shifted from 90% silver coinage to modern-clad circulation coins, making 1965 quarters historically important, heavily collected, and full of hidden value depending on condition, errors, and preservation. Whether you find one in an old drawer, receive one in change, or discover a brilliant uncirculated example in a collection, every 1965 quarter carries a little piece of American history, and each one carefully checked can reveal errors like off-center strikes, doubling, missing clad layers, and die cracks that can transform an ordinary coin into something truly valuable and exciting. If you enjoyed learning about hidden treasures in everyday coins and want more long and detailed coin guides just like this one, then make sure you support Retired Pennies World by liking the video, sharing it with other collectors, and most importantly, subscribing to the channel so you never miss a new discovery or coin value update.